transition back to the NBA, and let's talk about Damian Lillard, as Damian Lillard was recently on the Old Man and the Three podcast featuring JJ Redick, and he had some interesting comments on the NBA and the NBA overall. Take a listen.
The NBA I play in now is not the NBA that I came into, and I expect it to evolve. Everything is constantly changing, but I feel like I play for the love of the game. Like I want the competition. I want to know what it feels like to win. I want to see my teammates do well. I want to see my teammates get paid. Like that don't count. Regular season don't count. Get a ring. You know what I'm saying? Like this guy's the MVP. This guy did this. He the first. It's like, bro, what is this stuff? Like, what is this? You know what I'm saying? Like, they was asking me about Dame, but like to win a ring, and I'm like, bro, I don't need to prove to y'all that I want to win a ring. Why the hell do I play? Like, we cannot keep acting like, while I understand we play to win championships, we all want to win a championship. We can't keep acting like nothing matters. Like the rest of the stuff, the journey doesn't matter. We can't keep doing that. I think about it all the time where I'm like, man, I don't know if I can just play a long, long time, because I don't enjoy what the NBA as a whole is becoming.
That was Damian Lillard. Recent comments about the NBA and what the NBA is becoming. Again, this was on the Old Man and the Three podcast featuring my man JJ Redick. So, my biggest takeaway from what Damian Lillard was saying is I got a lot of respect for Damian Lillard. I believe that Damian Lillard is one of the best guards in NBA history. Damian Lillard, for his career, the man averages 25 points per game on 44% shooting from the floor. And I believe that outside of Steph Curry, there is not a better three-point shooter in the NBA. I think he's the second best shooter currently in the NBA. And the man, from three-point range, the man shoots 37%. And for his career, Damian Lillard is a 7-time NBA All-Star, 4-time All-NBA second-team player. He made the All-NBA first team in 2018. He won NBA Rookie of the Year in 2013, and he also is a member of the NBA 75th anniversary team. I believe without an NBA championship, Damian Lillard will be one of the greatest players in NBA history. I think Damian Lillard already is an all-time NBA great, and that is without an NBA championship. I want to be very, very clear about what I'm saying. And I believe that in Portland, I believe that he's the best player on that Portland Trailblazers basketball team. And he's been the best player since he's been in the NBA on those teams. And you look at his career, he's only had one opportunity to get to an NBA Finals, like legit. That was the year, I think it was the 2019 Western Conference Finals, where it was Dame, it was CJ versus Steph and Clay, and the Warriors swept the Blazers. And Steph outplayed Dame, and Clay outplayed CJ. And it was mano a mano, Dame and CJ versus Clay and Steph, and Clay and Steph got the better of Dame and CJ. But I believe that was Damian Lillard's only legitimate chance to get to an NBA Finals, because he plays for the Portland Trail Blazers. And no one is going to Portland to play basketball. It's not New York in Madison Square Garden. It's not Los Angeles and the Staples Center. I know it's crypto.com now, but I still think it's Staples Center. Okay, it's not even Miami or Dallas. It's the Portland Trailblazers. So no one is signing up to play in Portland, unfortunately. And this is for Dame. Like, I want to see Dame compete for championships. Selfishly, I want to see him on a championship contender in a big market like New York with the Knicks or like Los Angeles with the Lakers, because I believe Dame is big time. And I believe, and I've been on record saying this, the same way that Kyrie Irving played his role when the Cleveland Cavaliers won their championship in 2016, I believe Damian Lillard could have played a very similar role alongside LeBron and won an NBA championship. I've been very, very clear about this, and I've been consistent. And I think that, again, when it comes to point guards, Dame is on the level of a Steph. I think Steph is better than Dame, but I think Dame is the most consistent, and he's the best shooter in the NBA outside of Steph Curry. But with all that being said, as much love that I have for Damian Lillard, I disagree with Dame a little bit about the whole championships thing and the importance of it. Because I believe that when you are trying to be an NBA player or trying to be an NFL player or Major League Baseball player, whatever sport that you play, you want to reach your ultimate goal. And your ultimate goal is to win a championship or a Super Bowl or a Stanley Cup or a World Series. That's your ultimate goal when you play sports. You want to reach the pinnacle. You want to be at the top. And when you're in a market like Portland, fans don't want to hear that championships isn't everything to you when the Portland Trailblazers are paying you all the money that they're paying you. You got to think about it. I look at Portland like I look at Milwaukee and like I look at Cleveland. Those fans of those franchises, when LeBron won a championship for the Cavaliers and Giannis won a championship for the Bucks, those fans, they were so happy as a fan base, and what it did for that region was significant. And so those fans will appreciate LeBron and they will appreciate Giannis forever for winning those championships respectfully with the Cavs and with the Bucks. No matter what you say about LeBron or Giannis, they both are good in Cleveland and in Milwaukee. So I believe that Dame, he should have that same mentality playing in a city like Portland. Imagine if Damian Lillard won a championship with the Portland Trailblazers. Could you imagine what he would do for his legacy? Again, I believe he's an all-time great even without an NBA championship. But do you know what he would do for his legacy if he brought a championship to the city of Portland? And how we would view Dame? Like, from a legacy standpoint, like, it's certain players that Damian Lillard would overlap immediately if he won the championship with the Portland Trailblazers. And again, all championships are not equal. The championships that LeBron won with the Cavs and the championship that Giannis won with the Bucks, I believe that if Dame won a championship with the Trailblazers, it would be on the same level from a significant standpoint as Giannis' championship with the Bucks and LeBron's championship with the Cavs. And again, fans, they are emotionally driven. They want to know that their superstar is all in on capturing an NBA championship. They don't want to hear in a podcast that Dame, that championships isn't everything. They want to know that the championship matters and this is what we want. They want to know that. That's a fan's perspective. But I do understand where Dame was coming from, because I do believe that there is such an emphasis on players in the NBA winning championships that we forget about the journey. And I believe that even when you comparing players, there are certain players who have championships who aren't better than players who never won a championship. And I'm going to give you an example. And I love what I'm about to talk about, but I got to be honest about it. And it's the real. Chris Bosh, before he joined LeBron and D Wade in Miami, in Toronto, he was a perennial all-star. And he was a good player. But Chris Bosh was never as good as Carmelo Anthony. And when we talk about Melo and his legacy, we always point to Melo never reaching an NBA Finals. Forget about winning the NBA Finals. We always critique Melo, and one of the criticisms I hear from people is Melo never even got to an NBA Finals. And so when you talk about players and you compare players, there are some people, just because Chris Bosh has 2 championships alone, they would say that Chris Bosh is better than Carmelo Anthony. Another player who won championships in his prime, in his day, Scottie Pippen, alongside Michael Jordan. I love Scottie. Scottie's an all-time great. Scottie is one of the greatest small forwards in NBA history. But one of the players in Scottie's era who never won a championship was Charles Barkley and even Karl Malone. And both Charles Barkley and Karl Malone are better players than Scottie Pippen. So I understand where Damon's coming from. Like, because there are certain players who didn't win championships who are better than players who actually won championships as an individual player. But because that player has the team accomplishment of a championship, some people will say that he's better than that other individual player. And that's not the case. Also, too, I believe that NBA players, because they know that the media and fans, all they care about is championships, I believe that's why now you see players who load manage during the regular season. They only care about the finish line because they know they're only going to be judged for what happens in April, May, and June. They're not going to be judged about what happens from October to March. They're going to be judged on what happens in April, May, and June. And that's why you see players load manage. That's why you see scorers at the end of the night in the NBA that are upsets. We've been seeing upsets all season long. The other night, the Rockets beat the Celtics. The Pacers beat the Bucks because players know I'm going to be judged about how I perform in the postseason, not how I perform in the regular season. And I think that's why players also load manage as well. And they don't play in all 82 games. But like, I understand 100% where Dame is coming from, but I do think there's the other side to it. Like, I think from a fan's perspective, they don't want to hear that their star player, they don't want to hear that winning a championship is not his number one priority. Now, again, I know Dame wants to win a championship. I know he knows that would validate his career and validate his legacy. But Dame is secure within himself. He ain't insecure. He's secure. So Dame is okay with never winning a championship and knowing that he was an all-time great player. He's at peace with knowing I may not never win a championship, but I'm going to do it my way. And I respect Dame for that. I respect Dame for doing it his way. Because like Dame said as well, if you leave a particular team and you try to go to another team to win a championship and you don't win, you're also going to get killed for that. And then you're also going to get killed if you do win, because people are going to say, hey, you went to that juggernaut and won a championship. Look at what's going on with Kevin Durant. people always discredit Kevin Durant because Kevin Durant left Oklahoma City, went to Golden State, and joined forces with the Golden State Warriors, and they were already a great team before he came to Golden State. So people discredit Kevin Durant, and they don't give him the credit that he deserves for those 2 championships that he won in Golden State. We know good and damn well that Kevin Durant was the best player on those Warriors teams while he was in Golden State. I love Steph. Steph is the greatest shooter in NBA history. He has never been as good of a player that Kevin Durant is. Kevin Durant was the best player on those Warriors teams. But we always discredit Kevin Durant because he went to the Warriors and he had to go and team up with Steph Curry, with Klay Thompson, with Draymond Green, with Andre Iguodala to win his 2 championships. So as an NBA player, you damn if you do, you damn if you don't. So that was also something I took away from this interview with Damian Lillard on the JJ Redick podcast as well. So I thought this was a great interview. Go and check it out. Damian Lillard is a great player, man. When you look at most 60-point games after 30 in NBA history, Wilt Chamberlain has 3. Damian Lillard has 3 as well. He has 1 more than even the great Kobe Bryant. And he has 5 60-point games in his career. So even without an NBA championship, Damian Lillard is one of the greatest players in NBA history. And he doesn't need an NBA championship to validate his greatness for me. But again, I understand both sides of the spectrum when it comes to the championship argument in the NBA.